Hello and welcome to the Body for Minds podcast. Last week we talked about interoception, your body's ability to notice what's happening inside before your mind even catches up. Maybe you remember those moments when you suddenly realize your jaw is tight or your breath is shallow or your shoulders are pulled up. And that's the exact second you catch yourself pushing past your limits. This week, we're taking that awareness one step further, because noticing what your body's telling you is powerful. But the real magic happens when you let it guide your boundaries. Today, we're talking about boundaries that hold, even when a child gets sick or project deadline starts creeping in, and how your body can help you stay grounded instead of guilty. You'll walk away with one simple body-based reset and a few prompts to make boundaries and time management work for you, not against you. Because boundaries aren't just about saying no. They're about saying yes to what genuinely deserves your focus and energy. As mums, we've had to learn to manage time differently, not because we have more of it, but because we've learned to make less time stretch further. But here's the thing I keep coming back to. Saying I have no time often really means this isn't my priority right now. Unless you make yourself a priority, nobody else will. Boundaries at their core are about self-leadership, turning awareness into aligned action. Let's start with what happens in your body when boundaries blur. You open your inbox and there are 42 new messages. Your child's school just called, colleague pings you with a quick question that's never quick. You feel that familiar flutter, your heart races a little faster, your stomach tightens, and suddenly it feels impossible to know where to start. That's not weakness. That's your nervous system moving into protective mode. It's your body saying, there's too much to process. Please pause before deciding. And here's the key. You can't think your way out of that state. You have to move your way out of it. Before we talk about how to reset, let's pause for a moment and ask, what are boundaries really? We often hear the phrase, set clear boundaries for your kids. And while that's true, the deeper meaning often gets lost. Boundaries aren't about control or hierarchy, not because I'm the adult, I decide. Real boundaries start with self-awareness. In both parenting and professional life, a boundary marks the limits of what you can offer while still staying connected to yourself. When you model that, your children naturally learn where their own limits begin too. Psychologists call this self-other differentiation, knowing what belongs to you and what doesn't. When those internal lines are clear, people experience more psychological safety within the self. They can stay close to others without losing their center. From a neuroscience perspective, boundaries are part of self-regulation. Studies on interoception show that people who accurately sense their internal cues, heartbeat, breath, muscle tension, regulate emotions more effectively and recover faster from stress. So when we talk about boundaries that hold, we're not talking about building walls. They're fluid, responsive to your body's state. What feels possible on a well-rested, energetic day may not be realistic after a sleepless night or when you're in a different phase of your cycle. And that's okay. The key is staying connected enough to your body to notice those shifts. Because only then can your boundaries adjust with compassion instead of collapse from exhaustion. Boundaries are not about rigidity. They're about attunement. Clarity that moves with you and helps you respond to everyone around you, including your kids. And I want to address something that's been circulating a lot lately, the idea that self-care and self-awareness have been monetized, turning women's and mothers' exhaustion into something to sell. And yes, the exhaustion is systemic. The structural pressures are real. Workplaces, schools, and cultural expectations all play their part. But personal awareness isn't the problem. Because who will push for change if not the very people living that imbalance every single day? The way I see it, body awareness isn't about fixing mothers. It's about equipping us. When we know our limits, when we trust our signals, when we can say, this is what I need, you're not withdrawing, you're reclaiming space. Boundaries help protect your energy from the overwhelm of systemic burdens and let you focus on where you want to make a difference. There's no value in staying trapped in that societal cage. The point is to stand grounded, centered, and ready to thrive despite the structures around you. And that's where today's practice comes in. A short reset you can use whenever overwhelm hits. So when you feel anxious and frozen, for example, don't overthink. Start small. Here's your 30-minute reset. Firstly, anchor. Feel your feet on the floor. Take one long exhale, the kind that tells your body, we're safe. We're starting. Secondly, pick 3 quick wins. Choose 3 small, doable actions you can complete in 30 minutes. Nothing emotional or complex. Just simple completions that help your body remember you can move forward. At work, that could be replying to one short email, updating a project status, finally ordering that office supply or scheduling that follow-up. At home, it might be unloading the dishwasher, starting a quick load of laundry, tidying one small corner that's been bothering you. And lastly, thirdly, do them fast, no perfection. It's just a quick thing, it doesn't have to be perfect. These little completions reactivate your nervous system through action. You move from anxious freeze to an empowered focus. Then pause and notice, how does my body feel now? Most moms describe feeling more grounded, clearer, even proud, like, okay, I can handle this. That's interoception in action, using your body's cues to guide you back into motion and confidence. And not staying stuck in a victim mode. Once you've built that little spark of momentum, pause again. This is your moment to check alignment. Because boundaries aren't just about reacting, they're about choosing. Ask yourself, does what I'm doing actually align with where I want my career to grow? Is this task truly mine to carry? Would my future self thank me for this? Yes. These questions turn time management into an act of alignment, into an act of rebellion, even if we're thinking back of those systemic challenges that we all face. You're not just ticking boxes, and you're not leading from fear, you're leading from clarity and not chaos. This is how body awareness becomes career awareness. Your body isn't slowing you down. It's helping you stay anchored in your expertise, your goals, and your values. And the more mothers we have in leadership positions, the more we can change the system. But let's move on to another kind of boundary that often goes unnoticed, especially for mothers. The boundary your body sets through pain. You know those days when your back aches, your head is pounding, or your throat's sore, and you think, I'll just take something and push through. Painkillers absolutely have their place, but they are meant to support recovery, not override the message. Pain is one of the clearest boundary signals your body sends. And I'll say that again. Pain is one of the clearest boundary signals your body sends. It says something needs attention. When the pain eases after medication, it's easy to forget that your body still needs rest. But if we push through every ache, we cross a boundary our body has clearly set. And eventually, it pushes back louder. And also, we learn to override our own boundaries. All those other smaller, less noticeable boundaries. So next time you reach for the medicine cabinet, add one more step. Pause and ask, what is my body trying to tell me right now? Make it easier for yourself. Absolutely yes. Ignore what your body is trying to tell you. Don't do that. Sometimes that 1 minute of listening is the difference between a short-term symptom and full burnout. And of course, you'll still slip sometimes. We all do. When you notice you've said yes too quickly or taken on too much, try a shame versus signal check. Shame says, I failed again. Signal says, my priorities drifted. Time to realign. Then use a simple repair phrase. I realized I said yes too fast. Can we revisit what's realistic? That one sentence can save your energy and your integrity. Even when your boundaries are clear, your mental load can quietly blur them. You might have the perfect system at work, but if your mind is juggling everything for everyone, your body never truly gets to rest. Next week, we'll unpack how to make the invisible visible, mapping your mental load so your boundaries finally get to breathe. Boundaries that hold start with your body. They're the bridge between your ambition and your well-being. Because your body isn't just your stress alarm, it's your most honest calendar. And if this episode resonated, please share it with another mom who might need the reminder, or leave a review. It means a lot. Until next time, more you, less noise.